It is yours truly, Salim from Notorious Reactions, back with another banger. Today we're looking at Sneeko and Jay Waller calling out the Nalva, a girl from Pearl's podcast. Let's see what they have to offer.
Do feminists crave destruction?
Yes.
Explained right here. Just we started off the show with destruction.
Ask me the question and then you'll see.
Okay.
There you go.
So you said yes. Why?
Yes, because the whole point of feminism is to eradicate the importance of men. And I don't see anything as destructive as eradicating the importance of men in society. That's a simple way to put it.
What do you think?
I agree with what she's saying. 100%.
Did you actually agree, or are you just trying to get to the next person?
No, I agree with what she's saying. I think that I think the term feminism has been almost changed in modern day time and made into almost like women need to overpower men and women need to take over the world kind of.
They both have a point. You know, originally it was created to bring equality as much as possible between men and women and give them the same opportunities and rights, but then it turned into something that we can't recognize because it now seeks to bring men down and women up. Right? It seeks to to give women a leg up at the expense of men, which is something that's not going to work ultimately because we need one another. Understand? And for things to be okay, we need to have a balance. Everybody has to play their roles.
Energy.
I hear that. No, I don't agree.
Okay, what do you think?
Feminism is made to empower women and show men the importance of women in society.
What's the importance of women in society?
What?
What's the importance of women in society?
We are society.
That's not that. What's your importance?
The problem with feminism, is exactly girls like her that they regurgitate a speech that they don't understand. She can't even explain to you the importance of a woman because she does not understand it. Right? She's basically just singing the songs and words of people that came before her that sought to that wanted to promote their own agenda through feminism.
So what's your role in society? If it's so important, that's the point of empowering you. What's your role?
Well, I'm not being funny. Where would the world be without women? Like, where would you've come from a woman? You've learned most of what growing up. Who brought you up? Was it your mother or your father? Who's got core duties? Why do men go so hard?
So, the importance of a woman is motherhood.
No, not just motherhood. Come back to me. I have to think about it. But women,
you seem pretty set in stone on that. I think we just saw feminism in real time. You said that our role is really important, and then you just said motherhood, that existed before the feminist movement. Motherhood has always been important.
Yeah,
it's always been respected.
You're right, and it's pinnacle. How do you think the world's going to continue to go on without motherhood?
We agree. So
would you be here if you didn't have a mother?
We agree 100%.
Exactly.
So what has the feminist movement done to prove that?
Well, the feminist movement, if you're talking about what's it?
What's going on now?
Bro, she's brain dead. She has ideas. She has thoughts and opinions that she can't back up. And the reason why she can't back them up is because they are not hers. She's regurgitating something that's been told to her on and on and on, that she holds her head high, goes out into the world and spiels, but that has no potency. That's what the problem is with feminism. It's just, it motivates a lot of women to go out into the world and have problems with things that they've never actually sat down to think about, that you might not even have a problem with. Why would you fight to be and play a position that you do not have to fight? Right? What she's trying to say, maybe articulate, is the fact that the woman is important because she has motherly attributes. She's motivating, she's loving, she's caring, she's nurturing. She brings a lot to the table. But why should she want to play the role of both herself and the man? That's what the problem is nowadays with that whole movement. And it now turns to show us what its real ugly head is the desire to bring the man down and promote the woman up and to make her want to be a man, to play both roles.
The empowerment, all this girl boss thing that's going on right now.
No, that's modern feminism. That's what it's evolved to. But feminism in itself is made to make the world see the value of women.
They used to plan assassinations in the early 1900s.
Well, feminists. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
There's terrorist groups that are men and women. You know, it's equality, isn't it? Women can be terrorists too.
True.
That's why I think feminism, in my opinion, is the problem when people want to label things. You don't want all of the same things. We're all very different women. We have different experience, different careers, different wants. So if you start saying feminism, you start labeling everybody, it's a problem. Because a black woman's freaking experience is not the same as a white woman. So our feminism doesn't look the same. So when everybody's saying, oh, women empower yourselves, we can't empower ourselves the same way. Some women work, some don't. Some we're the mothers, some women are not mothers. It's like, don't put me under the same umbrella.
What is a black woman? What does that have to do with feminism?
It has to do with feminism because, for example, for me, just knowing the difference between my empowerment and the empowerment of my white girlfriends, it's very different. I have bigger struggles to overcome. So when somebody's telling me, oh, feminism, empower yourself, we're all the same. No, we're not. We're quite different. The same way that I don't believe that racism is actually something that many people should be speaking on, because even that black experience is totally different depending on where you're from, what class you come from. So women are not all the same just because we are women.
This is like everything you're saying is why people think that feminists are just chatting. Because like, what does
I'm
racism?
not a feminist, so I don't really care. And I brought feminism as a comparison point because I'm just trying to explain that when you put people in the same bag every single time, it causes problems. So you don't actually get to understand what the genuine problem is, and you start saying,
Yo, she's talking a lot, but she's not saying anything important. And what you got to understand, and I'm saying this because I bet you're looking at the screen like wondering, what the fuck is she saying? She says a lot of things for no reason. Okay, for one, yes, she's right. Originally, feminism was for white women and not women of color. And then later on, they came with, I don't know what it is, transracial feminism to kind of put every woman under their umbrella of being a feminist so they can have more strength to their movement. But what she's doing when she says as a black woman, because people like these women specifically within that movement always trying to get into subgroups to make their struggles or their own problems seem bigger. As a black woman, as a Hispanic woman, as a brown woman, as a Asian woman, look, this is a victim mentality that you use. As a man, when I go into the world, I don't try to put myself into a specific category to make my struggles or my plea more appealing to people. I live a man's life. If I go out into the world, most people will treat me and evaluate me based on the value that I bring. They don't stop and look at my ethnicity to judge me, right? Some people are racists, but the vast majority, especially in the times that we live in, don't care if I can do the job. They'll recognize me for that. Now, these women are trying to get sympathy from you by saying, oh, because I'm a black woman, I'm this and that. Look, yes, you are, but that's not what I look at when I meet you. I'm not going to try to judge you because of that. And I think it's true for most people. So trying to make yourself look like a victim is not going to work.
We want this, but then you don't know what
It's
you
victim
want.
mindset.
Yeah.
It's having a victim mindset. I'm black. I'm a woman. I need empowerment. I need
No,
this
it's
to move
not
forward.
a victimization. It's a fact. Because I know I lived that experience. You may not. And on top of that, I'm also an immigrant. So I already know that my experience is different. So when I'm talking about empowerment,
And you're an immigrant
I don't
too.
look at it.
There's a lot of ways you're victimizing yourself.
I'm not victimized. I'm empowering myself because I'm a G. I made it through the problem. I don't really care about whether or not it was a situation.
But that's wokeness. You empower yourself by victimizing yourself.
No, I empower myself by understanding that perhaps I may have a bigger hill to climb, so I'll train harder.
It's what you're leading with, though. It's certainly what you're leading with.
With what?
Your race, your gender,
and your
immigration.
Of course.
You're leading with that. Is that your identity?
You can understand that when I'm a feminist too.
What about what you've done in the world instead of all of these
done
other
a lot
things?
of things in the world.
Okay, then why not lead with those?
I'm an educator as well.
Okay,
and I
cool.
understand the difference
Love
between
that.
me going into that.
Hoo-wee! Yo, she doesn't want to let him talk because she feels a little threatened because they actually have good points to bring to the table. Justin, who is a white man, right? He's a white man. Sneakles half Asian, he's half black. But they lead with their work, as they said. They don't have mental barriers that they put in their minds to kind of justify or get, like, she's trying to paint herself in her mind as being like a main character that has hurdles to overcome. But like you said, if you lead with your work, if you lead with your ability to provide some kind of value to the world, that the things that can kind of put themselves in your route, right, could possibly make your route harder, are not going to be as potent. It's just because you think it's important that it actually takes place, that it actually seems bigger. Like, nobody actually cares.
that job versus other people. I work with different types of racism. What I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to make this about racism. I'm simply making a comparison to explain.
But you did.
No.
You certainly did.
And let me tell you why. Because I'm
Sure.
making a comparison. So it's an analogy to explain another problem. When you put everybody in the same basket, it doesn't work. That's why feminism doesn't work. It's not a good thing because I don't relate to feminists.
Because the problems
even though I
are not
understand
just
them.
caused by gender. The problems are caused by these other factors that you're talking about.
Yes, but it's caused by so many different things. There's different elements to it. So don't box me in. So that's why I don't think feminism is good. You neglect the people that actually do need empowering.
And I don't think it's fair to say that she shouldn't lead with her race and all of these things, because when you look at us, the first thing you do see is my race. If I am a TV presenter, you're not going to
It's
look
the
at me
first thing
first
I
as a TV
see when
presenter.
it's the
You're going
first
to
thing
say,
you say. When I see you, I see a woman. I don't see a black girl.
maybe that's just you, but the majority are going to already have this stigma of me because I'm
But
a
here's
black
the
woman.
problem with you doing that. And I say this with love, but if you have that top of mind all the time, you're going to suppress yourself.
But that's literally, that's life. Like,
That's
we
going
can't
to, you're going to
change it.
suppress yourself.
We can't change it, and that is life.
That's like me assuming that y'all are going to hate me because I'm a straight white male. Why would I think that about you guys when we could just get along?
So I don't understand, like, why are you being so challenging when I said
Because
that
I hate to hear it coming out of your mouth,
I'm
because
a woman,
it's a
and I'm
poisonous
putting
thing for you to
myself
think.
next to feminists, and I'm saying whatever your empowerment movement is not the same as mine. So don't actually label me to be in that situation and say, oh, women want this.
Oh, I'm not
because
labeling you. I'm
No, I'm not
simply
saying
telling
you.
you
I'm
what
saying-
exactly what you said.
No.
Exactly what you said. What
I want to point out the fact that she is very combative, and she doesn't want to have a conversation because not once has she conceded the right to talk to Justin, right? Justin is the guy in blue. Every time he tries to make a statement, she overtalks him. That's one thing you got to notice, because these people that say that they, she seems like she thinks her arguments through, but if she were actually here to have a conversation, she would let the other person speak. She does not let him speak. Now, there's another point that I want to bring out. Is a lot of these girls that are experienced at having these kind of conversations / debates, what they do is they want to dissociate themselves from the group that people say they don't like, which in this case it's feminists. And now they don't want to associate with it, but they say, no, look, I don't want to be boxed in. I want to talk about my plight, my specific issue, because it's about me, because I'm the main character. Now you have to look at me in this light because I have this problem. I'm a black woman. I'm an immigrant, right? I'm light skinned. I'm African. I have an accent and all these things. And like he said, it matters. We're not going to dismiss the fact that it matters, but it matters if you lead with it, going into a conversation in a new environment, right? And thinking things are going to go bad because you are an immigrant, because you are a woman, because you are a black. When in reality, it only matters if you let people see that it matters, right? What does it matter if I'm a black man if I could come to the table and bring value to everybody? If I'm articulate, if I'm smart, if I'm respectful? Why would it matter that I'm black? And that's something to think about, because we have to get ourselves out of the victim mindset for it to work. Not start thinking things are going to go bad because we are of a certain ethnicity.
What do you think about feminine?
I said
I'm
you in
black.
general.
I'm an immigrant.
Now,
all this
why you-
bullshit.
why you they
That's
lie?
that's literally
not
what you
what
just
I
said.
said.
That's exactly
Okay,
what you
let me
said.
rephrase it so you can
Okay, cool.
understand it. Okay,
Please.
so essentially, if I stand next to a feminist, yeah, for example, a white woman that
I
is
don't
a
relate
feminist,
to you because I'm black.
Okay, wait. Let me finish. Can I finish?
You're about to say I
No,
can't box
no,
myself
no,
in with
no,
you because
no.
I'm black.
That's not what I'm saying.
Say it then.
What I'm saying is, I am not the same woman as you. What I want and what I see to be empowerment is not the same, whether it's culturally, whether it's racially, whether it's professionally, academically, personally, whatever. We are all very different. Women cannot be boxed into the same box because we're not the same.
Because you're different races?
Because
Yes.
of different experiences as women.
So
Even-
you're making an anti-feminist. You're making an anti-feminist
Yeah.
argument,
Because
but
she's black.
you want to have other things to complain about.
I've got
A lot of victim
balance.
Yeah.
I know the things that are not right, and I know the things that are right. It's not just black and white. There's gray areas in the middle. That's why I mentioned, for example, things like race is a gray area in the middle that makes it say, oh yeah, feminism may not actually be as accurate as people are saying. That is why people come across feminists and they don't know what they want, because one wants this, the other one wants this, and the other one wants this, because they are different. And that is why feminism, in my opinion, is destructive.
And I don't think she's playing victim. I think she's just acknowledging a serious issue in society.
What
Very much
issue?
so.
Racism?
Yes.
Are we going to act like racism doesn't exist?
Yeah, it
It's an issue in
doesn't. No,
society.
racism is not a problem. That's how they keep people broken at the bottom and arguing about nothing and thinking that they're victims
And
all the
that
time.
sounds like a problem.
It's not a problem. When you believe it, your
And
existence.
it's a problem then, isn't it?
Okay, my point is, your existence is a sum of your beliefs and your thoughts. And if you're always thinking that I'm a victim because I'm black, I'm not a feminist because of this, I'm an immigrant, then you know what's going to happen? You're going to stay poor, you're going to stay unhappy, and you're going to see racism everywhere. At a certain level of wealth and at a certain level of status, people never discuss things like race. People never discuss like, I'm an immigrant, so it was hard. You just want to get to the next point.
Yeah, that's why racism is a
But
problem.
Winners only see green, because the truth of the matter is, like, I own a business, right? I have a bunch of employees. If somebody turns up and does their job and they're profitable for my company, I cannot afford to give a fuck about their race, religion, hair, gender, any of that stuff, because it's too hard to find people that work really hard. So a great example of that is LeBron James has been in the NBA for years because he puts out motherfucking results.
Okay, but
And he's not worried, and living, oh, I'm black, I can't play in the league. But you could say that for I know plenty of successful young black men. And one thing I have a super big heart for is I play college football. And I cannot stand to see people put those young men in a box and tell them from the jump that they are not going to have a good shot at life just because they're black.
Can I ask you a question?
That is putting them in a box from the beginning and lying to them.
Sorry. Do you think that LeBron James had the same journey as his white teammates? That's
What white teammates?
Whichever-
You want to talk about exclusion? How many white people are in the NBA?
I can't think of one.
No,
Yeah.
wait.
Name
Okay, they will make points that have zero logic, but they will never admit that they're wrong. Bro, what the fuck? She knows what she's saying is wrong, but she does not want to concede. And Justin is right. Look, we're not denying that racism isn't a thing, but we don't want, if we start chalking everything up to a problem that we have in our lives, when are we going to take accountability for what happens? Because it's easy when you start to do that, you open the door for you not ever taking accountability. And that's why there's a lot of people that never move. You can see that person one day, come back 5 years later, and they haven't moved an inch because they have refused consistently and systematically to take responsibility for where they are in life. And like Sneeko said, it's all about perspective, how you see yourself, how you see your life, and how you think about things. That's why they got books like Think and Grow Rich, right? Those who think they can and those who think they can't are both usually right, because it's not about the outside world so much as it is about your mind. She doesn't want to acknowledge that. That's why she's probably going to be the same. Bro, look, man.
I'm a white NBA player.
I don't know.
I feel left out. Fuck this. I'm leaving.
Okay. No. But I'm just saying, actually, that's in America. In the UK, it's different.
My
For
problem
example,
is telling young black men that they don't have a shot because they're black is literally handicapping them from the jump, and I won't stand for it.
That's in America. In the UK, it's very different, my friend. In the UK, for example, the football leagues, they are full of white boys, and the white players are actually quite physically endowed and they're quite talented. They stay behind a little bit more. They're not selected first. In the UK, it's very different. That's why I say you shouldn't box people in and talk about generally, because culturally, there are
I call
different
bullshit
phenomena
though. I'll tell you why.
It's true.
An owner of a company, whether it's a sports team or a normal business, cannot afford to choose somebody or not choose somebody based off their race or gender.
But that's not true.
No, let me tell you why. Because the way that you make money in the sport is you win fucking championships.
Yo, they're okay. Look, they're retarded. They're retarded. Who gives a flying fuck what ethnicity they are? If I'm a business owner, right, and I have a perspective, talent that I can actually bring to my side, do I care what ethnicity he's from if he can do the job and get me paid? I don't care. If he is a talent that plays basketball or college football and he can help me win championships, do I care that he's black, Asian, Spanish, whatever the case may be, fill in the ethnicity? We don't care. And they are so focused on the hardships, the plight, the struggle, woe is me, that they can't see why they're not being prosperous in their lives. And these same thoughts that they're arguing for and protecting is the reason why they have not, gone forward in their lives, why they probably don't have a man. Because imagine being in a relationship with any of these girls. It must be a nightmare, because they're always arguing and they seem to constantly want to be the victim.
Virgin, you don't watch football. Some of the best players in the UK, they don't get the ratings. For example, in the World Cup, 3 black players scored, but when England was eliminated from the World Cup, those 3 players were the ones that were blamed, and all the white players were the ones that were celebrated, because that actually does happen in this country. So that's why race is actually important.
I don't know anything about soccer, but I'll say this.
Sorry. So are both of you trying to say racism doesn't exist? Or are you trying
It
to
holds
encourage us?
you believing that you're a victim holds you back more than any of the actual racism that
Don't get it
exists in
twisted.
society.
I'm not a victim
Are
because
we
I'm black.
able to?
This is some. It's really just poor people coping.
Yeah.
That like racism. This is why I'm not successful. This is why I'm unhappy. It's because of systematic oppression. That mindset will hold you back more than any
Absolutely.
white
I do
systems.
agree with that mindset. That mindset will hold you
It's
back.
going to hold you back.
way more than any
What I
racism.
will say is racism does exist.
Absolutely.
But
It exists
it
everywhere.
does exist. It exists everywhere.
Look, man, they're gonna keep arguing to the end of the video. Look, you can believe you can't, or you can believe you can. Either way, you are right.